Hello and welcome to the Drep and Stone podcast, a podcast where two friends raise a glass and have a conversation. I'm Nick.
I'm Kyle.
Kyle.
Hey, buddy.
You know what I was thinking about the other day?
No.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
I was thinking about mashed potatoes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when do you not think of potatoes in some form?
That's 90% of what I think about, actually.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Good shit. I love those posts of like other vegetables aren't even trying. Potatoes can be alcohol. Right. They can be French fries. They can be mashed potatoes. You can bake that thing.
Yeah.
Like, come on, broccoli. Get your act together.
Okay, the reason why I was thinking about mashed potatoes is because when Carol and I were in Edinburgh, and I know that we've talked about Scotland, but, you know, it was a great trip. Yeah. We were in Edinburgh. Like, we went to this place called Macker's Mash Bar, and they had a bunch of different kinds of mashed potatoes.
Interesting.
And
this was in Edinburgh?
Yeah, it was in Edinburgh, yeah. Yep. It's like right there, kind of off of the castle. You can see like all the old, part of the old town and everything. It's so good. But I made some mashed potatoes recently, and they were like terrible. And I was like, there's no way that you can make bad mashed potatoes.
Right.
And I made bad mashed potatoes. And so like I was thinking, man, you know what these aren't? Potatoes from Macker's Mash Bar. And
was it like a buffet type situation?
No, it was like, okay, so it was.
Could you get like a mashed potato flight?
Yeah, actually you could. You get a mashed potato flight. But you also like, they did mashed potatoes and a couple of different like proteins with it. So like you can mix and mash. Mix and match.
Mix and match?
Pun on mashed potatoes.
Oh, mix and mashed?
Matched potato. Anyway, and so you can get like haggis mash. You can get haggis mashed potatoes, and yeah, it's fantastic.
That's cool.
Neeps and tatties. Gotta be careful when you say those words.
All right.
Neeps are parsnips, and tatties are potatoes, obviously. So neeps and tatties.
Taters.
Yeah. Fantastic.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know why. Like I literally, as we sat down and hit record, I'm like, man, I can go for some mashed potatoes.
Fun story about bad mashed potatoes.
Sure.
One holiday when my kids were quite young, my oldest daughter was assisting with the preparation of said dinner, and the recipe I believe called for like a tablespoon of pepper or maybe a teaspoon. I don't remember, but I do know a whole cup of pepper went into the mashed potatoes, and they got to the table and they were gray. And you know, we're all just kind of,
what's wrong with that?
You know, like that's what is this? Mashed potato? It's not. That is not mashed potatoes. And you know, you take a bite and it's just like straight pepper,
right?
And it was really funny when we realized, oh no, what had happened. But my father-in-law was such a good sport. He went ahead and ate like a whole serving of it just to like not let Lorelai feel bad.
Yeah, and I
did not. I was like, nope, that's awful.
Having met that person, that seems like something he would absolutely do.
Yeah, for sure.
Having that and like that situation, I'm like, man, you know who has really good mashed potatoes? And I bring this up because we're doing another Scotch. Okay, I never really made that connection, but
you got there.
But I got
Scotch made you think of mashed potatoes.
Scotch made me think of mashed potatoes. My bad mashed potato situation,
and your great mashed potato experience.
And my great mashed potato experience at again Macker's. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Macker's, or maybe it's Makers. Makars
potatoes
mash bar. Yeah, and you got to get reservations because we were standing in line. Carol made reservations, and there were people that they're like, "Nah, you ain't getting these taters.
Not our taters.
Not our taters." Mm-mm.
So you said Scotch.
Yeah,
though.
Enough taters. Let's talk about.
Yeah, I'm interested in
other
Scotch.
vegetables.
Unless you've got like a canister of mashed potatoes somewhere that we could.
A canister? Is that how you store your mashed potatoes? In a canister?
I mean, I would eat them out of a canister.
I would eat them in a box.
I would eat them with a fox.
I would eat them in only my socks.
I would eat them if they're green.
But not gray.
Wouldn't do it.
Okay, Scotch.
Yeah.
I have brought us a Scotch that I'm really interested in and excited about because I knew, or when I purchased this bottle, I knew you already had a couple of bottles of it too.
Yeah.
And that's Scotch from the Ardnamurchan distillery.
Yep.
Which is in West Argyll. So it's kind of it's the western side of Scotland. It's actually a pretty good hike to get out there.
Ooh.
It's not an island, but it's on like a peninsula kind of.
Right.
And there's not, from what I understand, there's not a whole lot else out there. So I didn't make it out to that distillery.
Right.
But I found this bottle in Inverness. Shout out to the Inverness Whiskey Shop, our friend the Kilted Drammer. We'll have him hopefully on the podcast at some point because he was a lot of fun to talk to.
Very cool.
There was a lot of good things in that shop.
Yeah.
And he and I got to talking, and he's like, "Hey, how about this one?" And I was like, "Oh, sure." And then I saw the bottle, and it said one of 3,198.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
Not a lot. And I thought
this was one barrel?
No. That's
a couple barrels?
Several barrels. I think it's 10. On their website, it says about 10 barrels.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, that's pretty small.
Depend on the size of your barrel.
Sure. But it said 10 barrels.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a pretty small batch, and I'm super interested. I know that we've had some Ardnamurchan.
Yep.
We haven't featured on the pod yet.
Yeah.
And so I picked this one up.
Good call.
And we're going to try it right now.
Or good call on his part. I'm glad he recommended that one too.
Good call on his part.
Yeah. I'm very excited about this. And if I remember correctly, it's and that's why I wanted to bring. So we've also got just a standard Ardnamurchan batch bottle, and then we've got the Cask Strength also.
Sure.
And from what I remember, that bottle is very different from these.
Right.
So I thought it'd be fun to be able to have the base distill it. And then see where it goes at Cask Strength. And now let's see what we do. Because this is...
Oh, yeah, I never said. This is a Paul Launois release, which Paul Launois is a champagne maker.
There you go.
Yeah, so what they do is they take the new make and they put it into, I think, ex-bourbon. And then they age it. It's NAS, so I don't know how long it's aged. They age it for a good minute in some bourbon barrels. And then they finish it in these Paul Launois casks.
Dope.
In terms of like what you just said... How should we try these?
Well, I mean, I would say, work our way up, just like I said.
Okay.
Let's do the base distill it. Then let's do the Cask Strength.
Sure.
Then let's finish, because that one's a knocker of a proof, isn't it?
Yeah. 114.6.
So it's not going to get drowned out.
Sure.
One, the Cask Strength is 116.6.
Okay. Are the others peated?
I think it has like a touch
so
of
this
peat.
Is not this is unpeated.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ardnamurchan has just a whiff.
Okay.
It's not heavily by any means.
Well, let's get into it.
All right.
Cool. So we're doing the base level Ardnamurchan.
All right, so this is bottle AD 08.22:03.
Colon, you say?
Is that 2 dots?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I said. It's been a minute.
Okay, that's okay. That's all right.
I use the terminology like that.
Yeah, you use it correctly.
This whiskey is honored and inspired by the finest and most spectacular location of any distillery in Scotland, the Ardnamurchan Peninsula.
Told you.
This specific bottle was bottled on January 25th, 2023.
Oh, okay.
For those keeping score.
Yeah, I was. What did you say the ABV was?
ABV on this, which I believe is all their base batches, is 46.8.
Okay.
So what's that? It's going to be
93.6.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
So yeah.
Not bad. Pop
Here
it.
we go.
Nice. Little deep pop. Technically, I guess it would fall in the Highland Scotch.
It does say on the bottle, Ardnamurchan, Argyll, Western Highlands, Scotland Distillery.
There you go.
Right off the bat, I'll say one of my very favorite things about Ardnamurchan and the way that they're doing their whiskey. Every bottle comes with a little QR code on the back that you can scan and get so much information specifically about your bottle.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Now that we're talking about this one, I want to scan my bottle.
Well, I mean, we're going to talk about that one, too.
Oh, I know. I just... Damn.
Yeah, like it's dope. And it gives you so much information, like breaks down so many interesting things. It gives you their tasting notes. It's fantastic.
Like, I scanned the bottle that I just talked about, the Paul Launois, and it like literally gives you things like who bottled this.
Yep.
Different tasting notes if you want. Like that is like complete traceability.
Yeah,
is what they're going for.
It allows you to be as nerdy as you want to be with your bottle of whiskey.
I want to be nerdy with my bottle.
Yeah, I like to get down and nerdy,
as they say. All right. Well, shall we?
We shall.
Color?
It's lighter side of Scotch.
Agreed.
But lovely golden hue
on the nose. Ooh,
malty forward.
That malt is fantastic.
Aged lemon.
Yeah, like really nice citrusy notes, but like like those dried orange peels that they put in cocktails, like a fancy cocktail. That's what it smells like. But lemon. Man,
touch of honey, bit o' honey maybe.
Oh. Just like a hint of, I wouldn't call it smoke, but like a hint of bitter, and it might be a smoky note, but I don't get like it's not peat.
Sure.
Maybe a little brine too.
I think a bit of like herbalness, botanical-y type situation.
I got you. Enough sniffing, time for sipping. Ooh. That was just like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Wow. I need another sip.
Malty honey sweetness, proof pop,
bitter.
Lovely first sip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight into a bitter.
Like
finish.
that literally. All right, I'm on the next one.
Yeah. Next done.
Yeah, because no, that's exactly what it is. Like you get sweet on the very beginning of the palate, kind of washes over the mid palate. It's sweet. It's like honey sweetness, malty deliciousness, and then a little bit of peppery spices on the sides of the tongue.
Yeah.
And then this like just really nice, beautiful bitter.
Yeah, just an easy walk through a malt field.
Sure.
In the Highlands.
You're right.
Yeah, no. It's delightful. It's friendly. It's delicious.
Malt field? I was like, I was listening to you, but I'm also like, what the hell's a malt field? Yeah, barley field.
What the hell is he talking about?
Right.
Yeah, no, it's just a delightful dram. Like just really friendly, really flavorful though. Yeah. It's not weak. It's not just delightful.
Delightful.
Really delicate and pretty.
I mean, I couldn't say it better myself.
Yeah. Their nose, they say nutmeg and toffee apple.
Okay.
Honey, nougat, and salt water.
Sure. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Palate, they've got grapefruit, which...
We got more on the nose, I think.
I think it's that back palate with that with the bitterness coming in.
That makes sense, yeah.
And it's influencing me because now I'm kind of like, I do kind of get grapefruit, especially on the aftertaste. Marmalade.
Sure.
Orange, flamed orange peel. Peach, sweet soy sauce, and minerals.
I could see minerals.
Minerality.
Well, like that. Maybe that's where some of the bitter is, like a not medicinal, but like a licking a rock. Maybe Like,
I don't know. I don't know what. I think like mineral water. Rocks. It's like just a crispness.
Yeah, maybe a crispness, or like maybe the mouth feels a little more viscous, maybe too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which I would say it's not hugely viscous. I don't think it's very clingy.
No. But it's there.
Yeah, it's got a touch of it, but it's not like I wouldn't describe it like as oily or anything like that. It's very clean.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Ardnamurchan's only been around since 2014.
They're a young distillery.
Yeah, in terms of like distilleries as a whole, absolutely. In fact, like we went to do a little bit of research before this episode, and I looked in the malt whiskey yearbook, the 2024, because I was like, oh, surely it's going to be in there because it's the malt whiskey yearbook, and it is in there, but it's still listed as a new distillery.
Right.
So, which is interesting. It's been around for 10 years at this point, and they still list it as a new distillery.
Well, I think that makes sense, depending on how they... I don't know if very many distilleries over there would do kind of like what some bourbons do in terms of sourcing first.
No.
And then easing into your distillate.
At least not. And I can say from my experience and what I know, independent bottlers will absolutely do that.
Right.
And then like other, maybe other brands might source, but not a distillery. Like we are, because there's a lot of pride.
Yeah, I would assume
distillery.
So. Yeah. So to call yourself a distillery over there,
you better be distilling.
And then it's got to at least be 4 years old
to
put it in the bottle. So even if it is a 10-year-old distillery.
Yeah. 3 years and 1 day.
Right. That's right.
It can't be less than 3 years, so it has to be 3 years and 1 day.
But again, the cool thing about the website is like it's got this super cool thing about the traceability of it.
Yeah,
where you can figure out where the barley came from. That's
so
in your
damn
bottle.
Cool.
The mashing, they'll tell you the whole process. Fermentation, distillation, and maturation. It's all there. You can see all of it.
And what I love about that, not only because it's nerdy stuff, but like, why hide any of this from me?
I mean, I can understand, if it's like previous day and age where like, where would you put that information where people would have access to it? But nowadays,
you can just QR code it and
makes sense. Yeah. Like you can just pull that right up.
And let's be honest too, like the whiskey community as a whole is gigantic, but the people who are doing all the whiskeying and the making of the whiskey, that's a relatively small group of people, and they all have relationships with one another, and they all know how this stuff is made. So it's not like, oh, we're gonna trade secret the hell out of this. Like, nah, you're buying barley, you're mixing it up, you're mashing it up, you're blending things together. Like, it's not a secret.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's kind of it. Is that over there? I think too, it's kind of like we want to see your pedigree, kind of a thing. Pride in like, this is where we get our barley from. It's from this grower over here, and all that stuff.
Oh, for sure.
And it's just fun as hell.
It is fun. Speaking of fun,
moving right along.
Yeah, let's move on to the Cask Strength.
Okay, Kermit.
You want to sing it again?
Moving right along.
That's 2 times in like the last 5 episodes.
I mean, I'm here for a good Muppet reference. Cask Strength, Pop.
Oh. Ooh, that was a pour, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Color-wise, it's basically the same.
Yeah, they're real close.
Yeah. I mean, maybe like a half of a shade darker.
Yeah, maybe just a touch.
Yeah.
Which is a little surprising just in terms of like, I mean, you got to bring it down. So obviously you're adding water to it. So you'd think that would weaken it up somewhat noticeably.
That's what I was going to say.
Not much here.
So is this the same thing just at cask strength?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, maybe not the exact same mash, not the same batch.
Right.
But, I mean, they're really close, though. Like, this one is their May 23 release, and I said that bottle was bottled in January of 2023. Okay. So that's probably not the same
batch, but it's, yeah.
But
okay. That's interesting.
It's going to be close.
Yeah, we can compare those two. Cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, on the nose, spot on.
Yeah.
Like, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
But now that I know that grapefruity note is in the palate, or at least what they said, now I'm kind of getting that. Right. And it's probably just, influence.
That, and I'm wondering too, like they said nutmeg. Yeah. And like I always attribute that creamy malty note to the barley, but I can't see how you would say that that's nutmeg. Like, oh yeah. No,
yeah, or
I
like
get that.
baking spices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is bottle 258 of 2,600.
Wow. Yeah, I think Ardnamurchan's making a name for themselves as like, we're a batch company.
Yeah.
Like we do these batches, and that's also where all of this information is coming from, is like, we're going to tell you about your batch that you have here in the bottle, because it's likely that you're not going to get that exact product again. Where like something like a Johnny Walker, which is a blended scotch, you're not going to have really a need for that, because it's all the goal for Johnny Walker is to like taste the same.
Right.
In every bottle, basically.
Right.
Whereas this, you can have small variabilities.
Yeah, which is fun.
Oh, yeah.
That one might not be quite as good, but then there's also going to be that one that comes along that's just going to knock your socks off.
But in that same realm, with each batch, they're trying to approximate similarities.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
blending in art form and all that.
For sure. But there's like a range that they're trying to stay in.
Correct.
Like this is us.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless they're going to do some special releases, and I'm sure they will at some point.
All right. Comparison on the nose.
Again, same nose, but that the alcohol note is dialed up just a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think the baking spices are a little more prominent.
That proof pop, to me, it just makes everything brighter.
Yeah.
Makes everything shine a little bit more. Volume on everything is just a bit more specific.
Yeah. No sniffing time for sipping?
Let's take a sipper.
Ooh. But for me, the proof now warms everything up.
Yeah.
Like the nose is definitely brighter, but the palate seems a little more warm.
Yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, that proof is going to just light you up a bit more.
Yeah. But the bitter kind of falls off for me. Like the spiciness is still there. The pepperiness on the sides of my tongue is still there. But that bitter almost is like it's been replaced by alcohol.
Right. Yeah. It's an alcohol bite throughout the end of it.
What do you got on the palate?
So for me, second sip fairness. The proof on it is electrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Like the sweetness is intensified, and I feel like the sweetness here, I would lean more towards like a peachy type stone fruit sweetness with a honey glaze on it.
Yeah,
and then the palate is more suggestive here for me of a barrel note or slight smoke.
Interesting.
Like it's on my palate now.
Yeah,
of like a just a subtle peat of like I just had like one puff off of a cigar.
Oh, okay.
Like, haven't had the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just one puff, and that's what's just kind of lingering on my palate.
See, if I were to say, like, anything about smoke, it would be like I walked into a cigar bar that people hadn't been smoking in. Like, but it's, like, in the wood or whatever. It's, like,
it's all soaked in.
Yeah, like, okay, people smoking here.
Right.
You know what I mean? But not that, like, stale smoke smell, like that rich, like, pipe tobacco smoke. But, like, nobody's been smoking in this room for a minute.
Right.
I mean, you know me. I love me a Cask Strength whiskey. I don't want to say the normal is more complex. I don't think that's the case, but I think the regular Ardnamurchan has a little bit more of that roller coaster going on for it.
Sure.
Or with it.
Yeah, I think that can happen with a lot of Cask Strength scotches.
Mm-hmm.
Is that when they're at that level, there's one thing that kind of shines through over everything else, so that when you do get that kind of backed off version, it allows more of its complexity to shine through.
Right.
So now I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, this last one now, to see how it
pairs with the other two.
Yeah.
How does it take this, distill it, and move forward?
Yeah, because like we said at the top of the episode, this is the Ardnamurchan. Not quite the same level as the Cask Strength, but still pretty high at 114.6.
Yeah.
I mean, I would call that Cask Strength.
Yeah. There's a lot of Cask Strength things that are like 110.
Yeah, exactly. And then, like I said, they finished this in 195-liter barriques.
Barriques?
Yeah, barrels. From Domaine Paul Launois, which is, again, a champagne. So, theoretically, we're going to get similar notes, but then, like, maybe some champagne notes? I don't want to speculate too much.
Maybe there's bubbles in it.
Ooh.
A little carbonation. Sparkly weird. Scotch.
Oh, that was a wet cork. My particular bottle that we've now poured into our Glencairns and we're swirling around is bottle 82 of 3198.
There you go.
You want to know who it was bottled by?
Who was it bottled by?
Kelly Combe, Holly McCafferty, and Reese Donaldson.
Kelly Combe was involved with mine also.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
She bottled 40% of mine.
Wow. Kelly Combe bottled 34% of mine. I don't know how that works, but, you know.
I assume that it's like, you know, that we've got, let's say, 20 barrels that we've got to dump.
Right.
And then I dumped the first 3 barrels. And then
this bottle was bottled on April 8th of 2024.
Nice.
Yeah. So pretty recent.
Yeah. That was just the other day.
Yeah. Basically.
Beginning of summer. That also means that, like, it was bottled mere days before you purchased it.
Yeah, like,
you know,
maybe
like 2 months.
Maybe 2 months.
You know,
yeah,
like that's crazy.
Not long.
That's cool.
Yeah. The color of this one though, man, like this is definitely darker.
Yeah, it's got quite a few shades.
I'd say golden honey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Several shades darker.
Yeah. On the nose?
You're getting into amber territory there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa, on the
way
nose.
Different.
Wow, that is fantastically different.
Like that's amazing that much difference can be discerned from champagne.
Yeah.
Barrels.
Yeah.
Like, I don't consider off the top of my head like champagne being that aromatic, and obviously that's just like from my naivety of champagne. Like I've had champagne, but I knows it,
but it's usually not like.
But it's just not. Yeah, it's not what stands out. So, but for it to partake that much influence over this distillate is very surprising to me.
Yeah, like I just downloaded because you can look at, and we didn't really talk about this with the others, but you can see what casks they've used.
Yeah.
Like you can download PDFs of all of this.
Yep.
The cask number specifically, the vintage of the cask they're using, the spirit they're using, and that is just insanely cool.
Yeah.
So of these 10 barrels, they're all American standard barrels that they've been using, but they don't necessarily say how long they've been aging.
Right.
All right. So on the nose.
On the nose, it's much richer.
For sure. Like like honey
darker.
richer. Like, to me, I'm getting a honey sweetness.
Like, whenever I say rich, I always put that in a category of, like, I usually refer to it in terms of, like, desserts.
Sure.
Desserts can be very rich.
Yeah.
And, like...
like a German chocolate cake is rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like... It's the great thing about it, and it's almost too much of that great thing.
Agreed.
You know, it's like you're pushing that boundary of, like, whoo, this is almost, like, too much.
Sure.
You know?
Okay, so for me, in that same way, then the richness I'm getting is honey sweetness, like treacle honey sweetness. Like it's just like it's sweet.
Right.
And then like orange, it's like overripe orange.
Like a marmalade-y.
Marmalade is perfect.
Like distilled down orange sweetness.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like orange bitters. Like it's like in that direction.
Yep.
Yeah, oh man.
Yeah, lovely nose.
It's great. It's almost, I agree with you though, it's almost too much.
Yeah, it's almost just like to that point of like, ooh, you've gone too far.
Shall we?
Yes.
Enough sniffing. Time for sipping. Whoa! That is so different.
Yeah. The bitter is so much more prominent in this one. And like all the better for it.
Agreed.
For that to be such a more forward note, it makes it so much, I feel like, so much more complex. Because you're still able to get all those, like, the orangey sweetness, and it is kind of like an orangey peel bitterness.
It really is, yeah.
That kind of gives you that whole rounded,
almost like a chocolate caramel brownie. And then like you shave orange peel over the top of it.
Yeah.
Like, man.
And
that
dark chocolate.
Yes.
Yep.
Like a dark chocolate syrup. That's what it is.
Mm.
It's a dark chocolate brownie, a little bit of caramel sauce, and then shaved orange on top and a dark chocolate syrup.
Yeah.
Damn, man. That is fantastic.
Delightful.
But it's almost too much.
Yeah.
It's a dessert that you're going to take a couple bites of and you're going to share with somebody.
Yeah. We're like, you got to help me with this.
Uh-huh.
I can't do the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah. It's delightful. It's that perfect like step up.
Yes.
Of like to take what the distillate is and the lovely notes that they already have.
Yeah.
Right now, how do we plus it? Like this does it in such a rewarding way.
Yeah, I'm really glad that we did it this way because before the episode we were discussing like, well, do we just do one of them,
right,
and then save the other two? But I think this is the way you have to do it because it's like, okay, base note, here's it at cask strength, and then like let's throw that cask strength with this weird other thing and here.
Plus
here's what it does. You want to hear the notes that they give us?
Okay.
Nose, zippy satsuma orange.
Fresh, that was the one I said, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Fresh laundry drying on the line in summer.
Ooh.
Lemon zest, mascarpone, thyme, and donut peach. Yeah.
Donut peach.
Yeah, it's a type of it's a type of donut.
Type of donut.
It's a type of peach.
Oh yeah, the peach donut, the donut peach. Yeah.
The palate.
I've had that donut.
Oh, dude, this is actually pretty interesting. Pink grapefruit with a dusting of sugar, white chocolate, salted caramel, pink salt, clover blossom honey, and high-end grüne. I don't know what that is, but high-end grüne.
Grüne.
Yeah. Finish is effervescent, bright, drying, lip-smacking alcohol with a long finish. It's very difficult to not take another sip.
Yeah. Agreed.
I mean, come on. It's whiskey. It's always difficult. Of the three, because we're going to have another pour, which one are you going to take another pour of right now?
I'll definitely have a pour of yours.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, it's freaking delightful.
Of the three, I think it's the most unique.
I think it's the most complex.
Yes.
Definitely the most unique. Gives you the most to think about.
For sure.
So, I mean, it's, Ardnamurchan is quickly becoming like one of my favorites.
Oh, agreed.
Distilleries. So like I would never turn down anything. But yeah, out of these three, for sure, yours is the most complex.
Go back to the cask strength real quick.
Yeah.
And taste it.
Well, knows it now too.
Yeah,
way more peat.
That's
now.
how taste it.
Yeah,
that's what I was getting at. Like, I didn't get a whole lot. I mean, we talked about cigar room or whatever. But like when you go to it, it's like, oh wow,
yeah.
There's the peat.
The back end of that palate now.
Oh yeah,
it's
punchy.
It's almost, you would have thought, like heavily peated now.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
That's wild.
It's so crazy because like I think. Because the Paul Launois is not peated at all.
Right.
And then you have like a couple of peated casks in the other ones. It's like,
that's bizarre.
Isn't that crazy?
It's so bitter now, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man. Yeah, that's cool that it communicates that way and helps make that one better.
It does.
Like, that's so wild.
Yeah.
Whiskey.
Yeah.
You're so fun.
All right, Kyle, now that we've got a couple great pours, what do you want to talk about this week?
Something that's always bothered me for years, decades.
It
really has.
Okay.
I remember hearing at some point in time that it costs...
Hold on, do I need to get my notebook? You want to lay down on my couch?
Are you certified?
No.
Oh.
But I mean,
That seems scammy.
I mean, you don't have to pay me. I got whiskey.
Okay. All right, then.
It seems scammy. I've got a beard.
Fair enough.
And I'm wearing glasses.
Fair enough.
So trust me.
You have a professorial look to you.
Yeah. Okay.
I've heard.
Get this off your chest.
I've heard. And then I saw a post recently that confirmed it.
Yeah.
So obviously I can believe it fully now.
Because it's been on the internet.
I saw it on the internet.
Yeah.
That it costs more to make a penny than it is worth.
I've heard this too.
And for so long I've wondered, well, then why? Why do we do the thing? That seems so...
Why are we making pennies?
Foolhardy.
Sure.
Like, why would you make a thing that it costs more to make it than the thing is worth? Like, that makes no sense.
Right.
And recently saw a post and sent it your way because it literally has been something I've thought about before, and I tried to like never have them, and I might have been foolish at one point in time in my youth and just threw them away.
Throwing away money.
In spite.
Oh, just because you're pissed.
Yeah, just because, like, why do we have these? These are stupid. They're worth nothing.
They're worth 1 cent.
They're worth a cent. A singular cent.
Okay, yes, they are worth a singular cent. But the post you sent me, Okay.
Yeah.
It says a conservative. This is like when you scroll through the whole thing. It's at the very end. Okay. A conservative estimate holds that there are 240 billion pennies
right.
lying around the U.S.
Right.
So that's about
in value.
No.
Just individually.
240 individual pennies. Yeah.
Right.
So that's what?
So yeah, move the decimal twice.
$2.4 billion.
So yeah, that's a good chunk of change.
Is that right? Did I do that right?
240 pennies would be worth
$2.40.
$2.40. So yeah.
Yeah. So $2.4 billion.
So yeah, that's all. That's a good chunk of change.
That's some good math.
Yeah.
And then it goes on to say that there's about 724 pennies, so $7.24,
right,
for every person residing in the U.S.
Right.
And enough to hand 2 pennies to every human born since the dawn of our species.
Right.
That's a lot of pennies.
Yeah. Well, Yeah.
Okay, my point is though, like, I'm not saying we don't. I agree. Like, why do we have these stupid?
Stop making them.
Stop making them.
Stop making them.
Clearly, we've got enough.
Yeah.
It's clearly costing more to make than they're worth.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, when's the last time you're like paying with a penny?
Definitely never. Like, I mean, it's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Like, if I don't know. Like, sometimes if I have exact change, I will do it because there's a bit of like
satisfaction.
Yeah, like I got exactly the change.
Sure. When do you pay? Like, when was the last time you paid anything with cash?
It's rare, man.
Yeah, I mean, like I definitely have recently because of my job.
Sure,
I have a lot of cash.
Yeah,
but and I'm actually quite good about saving my change and then rolling it and cashing it in. But I'm always furious about the pennies because even a whole roll of those,
throw them on the ground.
Even a whole roll of those, I'm only equaling up to 50 cents.
Yeah.
And it's just infuriating to deal with them.
You got to count 50 of them, too.
You got to count 50 of them, and that's always what you have the most of.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Fucking pennies.
Okay, so, like, I like paying in cash. I don't do enough of it, but I really like paying in cash. My problem with paying in cash is then I got to carry cash around, and I don't want to. I don't like full pockets.
Sure.
I like skinny pockets.
Yeah.
You know my pockets. You've seen my pockets.
I've seen your tight pants.
I got my tight
pants on.
You beat me to it. Right, and so like I literally keep a slimline wallet, like it's a minimalist wallet. It's got a couple cards in it.
Same,
and it's hard to put a good chunk of cash in there. And then whenever you pay with cash, then you're gonna get
what's a good chunk?
I'm gonna say so. The way I fold it in my wallet, putting like $150, $200 in there, it's kind of difficult. Like you can do it.
That's
but
$2 bills.
$100 bills.
Oh, you're breaking it down.
Oh yeah.
I see what you're saying. Like 320 is like
sure.
410.
But like when I was in the UK, they don't deal in cash a whole lot, but I actually liked paying in cash because like coins. I like having dollar, or in this case,
bank
pound.
Notes.
No, I actually like the coins, like a pound coin, because I can feel it easier in my pocket, and so I can feel, I've got 4 pound coins. It's easier to actually take that out than a banknote.
Right.
Than like taking something, paper or cloth, whatever it is, and giving it. So I like that.
Right.
But I totally don't understand the need for the penny. Like just round up. Stop doing this psychological BS of saying something's $4.99, call it $5.
Yeah.
Because that's where we're getting into this issue. If you're not gonna you're in a non-tipping situation.
Right.
$4.99, I hand you a $5 bill, you're gonna give me a cent back. Right. Unless, are you the kind of person who's like, just keep the penny?
Always.
But
beyond that, though, it's like, even if it is $4.99, though, like after tax.
Oh, sure.
Now I'm breaking the other barrier, and I'm actually going to end up with so many more coins.
That's exactly. You're right.
And so it's like, yeah, it is like a pricing issue.
Oh, for sure.
But like, would you rather keep it at $4.99 so there's the mental satisfaction of like, oh, okay, so it's only $4 and some change.
No.
But then would you rather have it priced? Because they're not going to price it to $5.
I'm going to tell you. I can tell you exactly what I would rather.
Okay.
I would rather you tell me exactly what this thing cost, and regardless
of all the shit.
Yeah. Like I don't want to know the tax. Like I don't care about the tax.
Yeah.
If the thing cost, like I'm almost to the point of like, okay, so let's say you figure in back to our $4.99.
Yeah.
All right, $4.99 with tax. We're somewhere in that like $5.20-ish range or something. Whatever. Charge me $5.50. Done.
I'm out the door $550.
I'm out the door $550.
Yep.
You don't even tell me that I've paid X amount of dollars in tax.
Right. Or just that much more for you in profit.
Sure.
Just charge 15 cents extra.
Charge me
$550. Yeah. Yeah, totally.
You know, like none of this other BS of like, okay, so in the 7% and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to do that math. Yeah. Just charge me that.
But is that like a middle class?
Probably.
Like,
sure.
Like,
absolutely.
We don't have to fucking worry about cents on the dollar.
Well, you know, I do worry about cents on the dollar all the time.
Yeah, you do.
Like all the time. So like, but I would rather like, okay, then charge me $5.
Yeah.
You know, like give me to the nearest whatever. And that way I don't have to worry about it. And then like I have, maybe there's something about like,
I'm with you right there.
Yeah.
Like just take me to the $550 and I'm happy. Mm-hmm. I'm out the door. Oh my God, you give me 2 quarters back? Fuck yeah. I love quarters all day.
Yeah.
I'm a huge quarter homer.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Give me them quarters.
Love them quarters.
Yeah.
I've always got $2 in quarters in my pocket.
Do you really? Do you right now?
Because of my job. Yeah.
I don't believe you.
No, not right now.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
Well, when I'm at work, I do.
For sure. Well, it stems from your
occupation.
80s upbringing and your love of the arcade.
Yeah, you are not wrong.
Yeah. No,
line them up.
Your occupation is all the $100 bills.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. How many $100 bills can you fit in the thong? I mean, it's...
I'm a cheap tipper. It's dollars.
But you learn. There's other ways how you can fold the bills.
Squeak them in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. In your occupation.
Right.
Yeah, correct. But no one's throwing pennies at you is what you're saying.
Nah, not recently.
Can I ask you, though, like as someone who is in a tipping position, okay, have you been tipped like actual change?
Yeah. It happens, I would assume maybe in a similar way that you've possibly gotten rid of some coins in your time. It happens when people from like overseas,
sure,
and they don't want to take it home,
right?
So they're like, here's the rest of what we've got.
If I pay with cash, and you know the server has gone to break all of that, which sometimes happens, and also like sometimes doesn't. They just go to the nearest dollar. I'm okay with it too,
right?
Because they know probably like I'm going to leave this change here anyway.
Well, that's the funny thing is like in my position, if anybody pays in cash, I will not break it past a quarter. That's why I keep the quarters. Oh. I will round it to the nearest in their favor quarter. So if it's like, 83 cents change, they get the extra dollar. Right. You know what I mean?
I see. Well, they get the extra.
Or they go up. They go up to the dollar.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, say it was like your change is $1.83. Here's $2. You're good to go.
I got you.
That's just always the way I've done it. Because I hate that much coins and shit rattling around, and like I'm not petty like that. Like I will absolutely give you those extra whatever cents.
Yeah, just so that I don't have to worry.
But I do like quarters, so
How do you feel about the $50?
I wish that's the solution.
That's the solution.
Bring that shit back in. Like make the dollar quarter, the dollar coin, make that more relevant.
Sure.
And bring back a $50. Like do those things.
Yeah. And
the pennies can all still just stay there and lay around like they do. And in like a worst case scenario, hey, go break open a roll of pennies. It'll last us a year. 50 pennies. And
but
because nobody cares about it.
No, and I think it's all about pricing structure. That's really what it comes down. Pricing structure and tax.
Yeah.
But I've got a lot of pennies laying around, and I ain't got time to count all those pennies.
And it's the failure of when. Have you ever heard that story about how like when America was founded, you had like the one group that wanted to be banknotes, and you had the one group that just wanted it to be only coins.
There's something about in the turn of like the Civil War, American Civil War. There was something about that as well. Like the South wanted one thing, and the North wanted something else. Maybe I forget how it worked.
Well, and it became a blending of the two.
Yeah,
and it's like if you were a fan of the coin, you got ripped.
Well,
we'll do some coins, but they're going to be less than $1.
See, I have a conspiracy.
Which back then, maybe that was like, you kind of thought back then, it's like, all right, that's going to be the majority of shit at that point in time.
It was the purse makers and it was the belt makers. They were like, listen, we are in favor of the coin. Because like, as a person who wears pants, I got to have a bunch of, I got to hold something around my waist. I need a belt. Or as a person who maybe I'm not a fan of wearing pants, I might need a change purse, or in the case
I'm a
of
Scotsman,
maybe, or in the case of someone who likes skirts, maybe I need a purse of some sort.
Right.
So it's probably a conspiracy by the The belt and purse makers.
Who knew?
I learned that on the internet. But
Wow.
I just made it up, and now it's on the internet, so it's fact.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. You're welcome.
I mean, anything we do now, it's on the internet.
There are over 250 Drep and Stone episodes, and it's all fact because it's on the internet.
Right, because we said it
exactly
on the internet.
And it exists there, and you can listen to all of them if you want to.
Yeah, totally.
You got anything else?
No. I hate pennies. But no, I'm good.
Okay.
Got that off my chest.
Well,
and out of my pocket.
I'll bill you. I've taken copious notes.
Right.
And I know that every Drep and Stone listener has as well, and we will all collectively bill you for 1 penny each.
Okay. Fair enough.
And we expect it post haste.
You got it.
Listen,
I mean, like, you know,
if not, we'll send around our collection agents.
I mean, like, what's $50 in pennies?
Yeah.
How much does that weigh?
A lot.
I think that should be a rule.
Like you pay
if the value of the thing weighs more than what it's worth, be done with it.
Yeah.
Be done with it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. Well, we want to know, what do you think about the penny?
Yeah. I mean, actually, I don't care. It's awful. Don't tell me. But what do you think about Ardnamurchan?
Absolutely.
Because that is some great scotch.
It for sure is. Have you had the regular Ardnamurchan?
Yeah. Have you had the Cask Strength?
Have you had the privilege, the honor, if you will, of having a Paul Launois?
Yeah. Because if you haven't,
you need to get there quick.
I don't know how you get it. Unless you hop over there.
Don't know either.
If there's one left.
I don't know if they're distributing the Launois here or not.
I doubt it.
I haven't seen
I'm
it here.
sure that's probably only a Scotch only.
Maybe.
Scotland only thing. If you can get your hands on it, highly recommended.
Highly recommended.
It's great.
You can reach us through email. That's drepandstone@gmail.com. You can also get in touch with us through social media.
On social media, it's always one word, Drep and Stone, DREP and Stone. You find us where you socialize your media. We are also socializing our media right along with you.
Yeah, we love that you support the podcast by rating Drep and Stone wherever it is you find great podcasts like this one. You can also support us through our Patreon page, patreon.com/drepandstone. And finally, Kyle.
Sir?
You can support us by telling someone about Drep and Stone.
Yep, absolutely. It's the easiest way to do it and probably the most effective.
Probably. You've gotten change at the grocery store. You hand that change back to the grocery store clerk. You say, "I'm good. Have you heard about Drep and Stone?"
Right.
And they're like, "You can't tip. This is a grocery store."
But they'll take it.
Yeah, for sure they will.
They might have to like decline it.
Yeah.
Once or twice.
But you wink, you nod.
Just keep going.
Yeah. And it's easy as that.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
On that note, hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
May your glass overflow.
And your pennies never show. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.